just very living my life. Like my motto is no legs, no limits. So I
Oh, I love
created
that.
that ever since I was younger. It's like no limits. There's no limitations, obviously, because I've discovered a lot of things. I've seen things. I've tested things and like see what I can and can't do. I mean, if there's a will, there's a way, right? And
Hmm.
so I feel like with me, it's just, yeah, my motto, no legs, no limits. Kanya Sesser, just like very myself and authentic because I don't care what anybody thinks about me, you know? There's people that's going to judge you and look at you, but that's human nature and that's okay. And sometimes like I judge people, not judge people,
Hmm.
but like I judge myself in some ways without realizing it, but that's just like human nature, you know? And I think we just need to have respect with everybody no matter what because you don't know what people are going through during this
Right.
time and all time. So I feel like with me, I just don't care what people think and I give love when I don't get love back. So if there's negative
Mm.
people that criticize me or like be like, how can you do that? Well, why don't you like what? But you know, because they were born in a different mentality. They were
Hmm.
born in maybe a small town. They were born maybe from a family who didn't show them freedom and didn't show them that there's all kinds of amazing people. So I don't judge that and I don't get mad over it because you don't know what their life is like. Everyone's life is through a lens is so different than everybody else and their
Yeah.
teachings are so different. So yeah, so for me, I'm very authentically myself, and I just let people ask questions more than assume. But most people assume then ask questions like, "Yo, you can ask me anything." I'm like an open book. Ask me any questions and anything, and I'll be totally 1,000% honest with you on what it is, and I can teach you, and I can show you, and I can educate you. I'm gonna educate you because like I think that's important because they were probably weren't educated on disabilities or so I feel like in school we focus on so much of the upper surface than what's actually true and real under beneath those surface, meaning
Hmm.
we don't talk a lot about people with disabilities and teachings that like that's one thing of how it develops bullying in school. We don't talk about important things of like you don't need to be structured to get to knowing that like if growing up and saying that you have a like a learning disability or some type of disability that deals with struggling in school doesn't mean that in 10 years after that from now you're going to be a millionaire motivational
Right.
speaker. We don't talk about those things. We talk about things that like you know it's like let's talk about the important stuff. So that's why I'm a motivational speaker and showing my aura, showing my soul, showing everybody that to be authentically yourself. And of course, Kanya Sesser, no legs, no limits. There's no limitations.
I love that theory. And I think you're right. I think there is something in school. And I've struggled with that. And I struggled with that a lot of my life is like this conforming to fit in and be a certain way. And there's so much beauty in so many different walks of life and so many different experiences. And I know what you're saying, how some people are born into a certain mindset or a certain family of beliefs and values, and they're brought up in that way. So it is hard for them to get out of their head and get out of their own way to accept and learn from other people. But then at the same time, think about it. You were born in a small area. You were born in a small town. You said it was one way road, like that didn't stop you. So you were inherently born without that filter, without that BS that, you need to conform. And so maybe that is your gift, is that you were born this way so that you can shine and just be like, look at me. But how do you approach it with like the bullying and the attitudes? Like, how do you say, it just doesn't bother me, people are going to be what they are? Like, how do you experience that? How do you experience, I'm sure people stare and look at you and they want to know questions, or they're just making assumptions or whatever. Like, how do you do that? What advice would you give to someone that is insecure? Because I think that's a lot of it, especially in school, when you're in that zone where you just want to conform and fit in, because it's almost like survival for you. You don't want to be the odd man out. How do you stand up and say, no, I'm going to embrace who I am from my fullest?
Yeah, so I was never bullied in school
Mm-hmm.
when I was younger. I feel like the kids there were more curious why I didn't have legs and they wanted to be my friend because they're like, who is this girl, you know? But I also feel like I had a lot of guidance from the unknown to guide me and protected me in that some sort of way as well. Um, you know, I think everybody has their own type of insecurities, whether it's looks, whether it's relationships, whether it's friendship, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
just work related, it's everything. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has insecurities of some sort, but different.
Yes.
Um, I just feel that, you know that it's not you, it's them. When people projects negativity and hurt and pain onto you, that's not you, that's their own like insecurities that they're trying to go through because what do we do when we're angry? Usually, we think about law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So when we think about like anger, what do we want to do? We want to lash someone out. We want to like punch the wall. We want to just like take that anger out into this universe, and then the universe like, what did I do to you? Like, you know. And I think also the fact that like when it's like it just has to deal with like energy again. Like it's like you
Mm-hmm.
bounce. It's like a ball. Imagine like a ball shifted like bounce from one end and then it bounced back to the other. And what you got to do is don't remember. Give. I feel like when someone criticize me or say something that was kind of rude but they don't know or realize that it was rude,
Mm-hmm.
or they're joking about it but like it's one of those not joking about it, it's one of those
Mm-hmm.
like just like like just kidding, I was just kidding. No, you're not. You wouldn't have said that if
Yeah.
you were joking. There's like a certain type of things, but I just be like, like I just laugh about it sometimes, or I just like send them good love and good vibes because what people who are haters and who are negative to the world, they don't like positive. They want to see you be vulnerable and
Mm-hmm.
insecure because they want you to feed off of their negativity.